Michael126 and welcome to another episode of Newbie's Guide to Abridging. Today I'll be prepping you guys for the video editing. I'll be using Sony Vegas Pro 9, but if you're using a different version of Sony Vegas, don't worry, it's not too different. If you're using another video editor like Adobe Premiere or something, I apologize. Sony Vegas is what I know best, but you should be able to follow along anyway because the settings at least aren't too different. Okay, first things first. I want you to go into Options and Customize your keyboard. Then under Show Commands Containing, I want you to type in the following: left by frame. Then I want you to go over here, click on this, and change the shortcut key to left by hitting the left arrow on your keyboard and click on Add. I've already done this though. And then I want you to do the exact same thing, only change that from left by frame to right by frame. And then assign this to the right arrow key. And then click Add. Once you've done that, click OK. Now it's time to prepare your footage. Click this little icon up here to adjust the project properties. First thing is, make sure the pixel aspect ratio is set to 1. You want square pixels. Otherwise, you'll get very odd looking results. It's kind of hard to explain unless you see it for yourself. I also want you to set the field order to None Progressive Scan. You get interlaced footage, and, well, you know how interlaced footage looks. And these two, upper and lower field, are both forms of interlaced footage. And now we're going to set the frame rate. If you're abridging anime, you're going to want to use either this frame rate here, 23.976, or 24 frames per second. Your call. If you're abridging anything else, if you're in the NTSC region, use 29.970, or if you're in the PAL region, use 25. And under deinterlace method, choose none because you've already deinterlaced it in Virtual Dub Mod. Okay, now I'm going to explain the resolution. There are 3 different ones you want to use for YouTube. You can choose either 640 by 480, which is standard 4:3, 720 by 480, which isn't exactly 4:3, but some footage actually comes like this. And then if you have widescreen, I want you to choose 854 by 480. And that is pretty friggin' close to 16:9 without going into the decimals. But for now, I'm choosing 640 by 480 because that's what I usually use. Now I know a lot of you want to use HD, and you can do that, but honestly, you're really just stretching out the image more than it needs to be stretched out, and all it really does is it wastes space and bandwidth, so just stick with standard definition. There's no way you're going to have high definition footage without ripping a Blu-ray. Once you've done that, there's one other thing I want you to take care of, and that's under the audio. All you really need to adjust here is the resample and stretch quality. By default, it's under good, but I want you to choose best. I'll explain stretching, resampling, all that kind of stuff later on. But for now, this is good. You can also adjust the sample rate, but don't go any higher or any lower than what you usually record in. And people usually record in 44:1. Once you're done that, click OK. Last thing I want you to do is, once you import your footage, I want you to right-click, go to Switches, and disable Resample. This just helps clean up the footage just a little bit more for when you're editing. Be sure to do that with each and every clip you drag on here. Okay, and that's really all you need to know before you get into the tough stuff. Next time I'll be covering the basics of lip sync, which really isn't as hard as it sounds, it's just tedious and time-consuming. So be sure to comment, rate, subscribe, and tell all your friends. See you next time.